think we'll start. Good morning, everybody. Very welcome to Trinity and to the Lloyd Institute here. My name is Myra O'Regan. I'm currently the Director of MSISS, and I'm just going to give a little talk about MSISS here this morning. Basically what it is, or what kind of subjects we teach and how we teach it, and what our graduates are doing. And I'm going to end because I asked last year our fourth years about something to say about MSISS, and they really encapsulate it very well with some direct student quotations. Okay? And I'll take loads of questions at the end. So I will maybe just give you a brief overview. So if you have any questions, I'm very happy. And I'll be walking around here for a little while as well. Okay, MSISS. We like to think about it as when technology meets business, the art of problem solving. And those two words come up quite a lot, problem solving. Okay, I can't remember what I was told to do. Oh yes, here we are. What does MSISS stand for? I know we all call it MSISS, and everybody and I say, Gordon, I direct the MSISS program, and everybody asks me, what is that? It's Management Science and Information System Studies. But we all, as you can see, it's quite a mouthful in a way. Everybody calls it MSISS. It's been going for about 1980. Now it changed its emphasis in the middle of the 90s. It used to be industrial systems, and it's now changed its emphasis to information system studies. MSISS. What is it? I like to think of MSISS as having four strands of subjects. First one is business methods. Courses that you might take in this strand are economics. There's a basic introductory economics course in first year. You do organization and management, welcome. Organization and management, and in second, third, and fourth year, you do lots of finance courses, or a couple of finance courses, financial reporting, how to read accounts, etc. like that. Many of our students afterwards go on and do the chartered accountancy exams. Next one are quantitative techniques. What do I mean by that? I mean statistics. I myself am from the statistics department. I teach the first year course in statistics at the moment. You would do statistics and management science, and I'll give you an example of that in a minute. Maths. You do 2 first year maths courses. I'm told they're difficult, but I don't think so. We do expect honours maths, and you have to have honours maths, but you would do 2 first year maths courses and maths courses in second year as well. All right. 1, 2, third stream, information technology, obviously with the name. You do lots of information technology courses. In the first year, you would do what we call a software lab, where you would learn to use Excel and Word and databases in a very comprehensive manner. And all the courses use computers more for applications than for programming. Now you do a good first year programming course for the whole year, 24 weeks of it, and you carry that forward to second year. You do Java programming. It's a very, very comprehensive computer course. You take it with the computer scientists and the other I think the business and the computer science business students as well. So the information technology just runs right through the course. Like I teach first year statistics, and every week we have a tutorial looking at data and analysing data with a package, with a statistical package. So you'll know every course will probably use computers in some form or other. Lots of that, and you culminate in fourth year. One of my colleagues, Frank, does a course on strategic information management. All the up-to-date topics in the area covers them. And now this is the one I'm particularly interested in too, the personal skills. You learn to work with people. There's a lot of team working, presentation of projects or reports, writing. There's a lot of report writing. And that just doesn't happen in third or fourth year. Not a lot, but we expect it in first year as well, just a little bit. I'm going to give a project to my first year class now for Christmas. So I'm going to give them a data set and ask them to write up a report on it. So it's not just all sitting down and computing. We have a lot of these personal skills. There's you learn to work in teams. And often, I don't know, often you might find that that may be a little bit more difficult than working by yourself, but that's a skill in itself, and it's something that you'll be doing for the rest of your life. And we consider that very, very important in MSISS. Our final year projects now are team projects with 2 students working on each project. So there gives you an idea. It's very broad. From business to quantitative techniques to information technology to personal skills, but they all feed into each other. And you'll find by the time you come to 4th year, you'll be using the bits and pieces of everything in some of the courses. So, what kind of problems? And the one I came up with, actually, one of my predecessors came up with this, and it's more management science. Think if you were working in Aer Lingus or Ryanair or a new airline. Think about if you had to schedule the flights. How difficult a problem that is. Because you'd have to think about maybe to forecast bookings. How are you going to forecast how many people are going to fly to, we have to go to Italy because I love Italy, to Rome next summer? How many planes do you need? What size planes do you need? How many times a week will you fly? What times will you fly? Very difficult problem. And think, it's not quite forecasting bookings, but I don't know if anybody here has had the experience when you're booking flights. And, well, I've had it, unfortunately. And you go online and you find, oh, it's €150 return. So you go and consult with your friends. Next time you go into it, it's €250. Well, how do airlines manage this? How do they charge different prices every day? What's underlying this? What's the model underlying this? It really annoys me. And all airlines do it. But how do they manage this? And, you know, how do they decide, as well as forecasting, how much to charge per seat? Or how many cheap seats to give on a flight? Pretty difficult. That's part of the whole management science kind of area. You've got to think about the location of your aircraft. Where are they? To make sure they're in the right place at the right time. And if there are delays, how are you going to manage it? The crew scheduling, not only do you have to schedule the flights, you have to schedule the crews as well. And remember, there are limitations on how long people can fly or work for. It's like scheduling classes in here. It's a nightmare. But it's good. Flying times, you're going to fly in the morning, the evening, or when are you going to schedule them? And you can see that these are all linked with each other. What type of planes are you going to use? I'm going to use, and I know nothing about planes, so I better be careful here. You're going to use a big plane or a small plane, or one that has a long range. Lovely language, isn't it? Long range or short range. I get stuck in this part of it, yeah. Even though I always look when I get into a plane, you know, if it's an Airbus or 323 or whatever, excuse me. How about what range does it have? Can it do the Atlantics? Can it go to, you know, over and back to London? And think about it. And this must have been. Think about it. Think about you were in Aer Lingus doing all the scheduling this time last year. And you all remember all the snow. Can you imagine? Okay, what am I going to do? Nobody can fly anywhere. And then the snow clears. How are you going to get back on track again? The planes are all somewhere else. The crew are all somewhere else. But how are you going to manage that? And how are you going to start again, kind of? And that would be part of a management science, that type of scheduling and dealing with this, well, what I would like to call chaos. But it's not, but it needs to be dealt with. How do we teach this course? I suppose it's conventionally taught, but the first 2 years of MSISS are just a firm theoretical basis. You do lots of maths, lots of computing, a little bit of statistics, lots of management science. So it's really firm, just really looking at the theory. Even though we do intermingle lots of practice, we hope, in there as well. You do multi and cross-disciplinary learning. Like, I often try to find out what everybody else is teaching. And we'll, you know, somebody teaching management science might be mentioning some statistical concepts, and I would mention that in class. Because you do courses a lot with the engineers, and you do it with computer science, and you do it with the business students, as well as here by yourself as well. Close integration. It may sound that these subjects are very kind of all over the place. We do try to integrate them. into projects and etc. Lots, and I mentioned this before, lots of cooperative learning and teamwork. I'm always amazed, and I've been around for a while, when I do computer labs. I always tell, learn from each other. I'm a firm believer that students learn more from each other than from me. And the best way to teach, to learn something, is obviously to show somebody something. So I encourage lots of that. It's not you go into a computer lab and you're stuck there. Lots of talking and chatting. Oh, do you think you should do that? Do you think you should do that? And I'd love to tape some of the conversations because they're great. Just listening, because I just sit back and listen, as well as being around. And I've mentioned that use of computers in all aspects of courses. And you all probably, any programmers here, do you all program? Do you use computers at school? No? A little bit? You'd use? Okay, dear. Well, you will. And you've got a little choice of specialisation. You can choose 2 electives, one in 3rd year and one in 4th year. A lot of people would choose maybe more accounting, more in-depth accounting. Maybe somebody else would choose maths. Maybe somebody else might choose some more management science or some fancy statistical techniques. So we do allow that. Very close linkage to practice and theory. When I'm teaching my 1st year statistics course, I would teach the theory, you practice it in the lab. That's the way it works. And that's what we like to see. Oh yeah, there's a great course in 3rd year, case studies. 2 of my colleagues dress up and they have a case study. Should we build a new plant? Where should we build a new plant? And you've got this particular organisation and the 2 of them dress up. You have to interview them to get the information that you need. And you have to make the decision as a team. This is done as a team and write up a report. So we do. There's lots of role playing involved in that. That's a tough course, but it's really good practical stuff. It's a fun thing. And there's, as I say, lots of practical projects. Culminating, I suppose, in the final year project, which last year I supervised a project. Somebody was looking at the GAA in Croke Park. How they could have a database of their members and how they might have some sort of, if you go to 10 matches, you'll get 1 free, that kind of stuff. Really interesting, actually. I learned lots about the GAA last year, or the GA, as they say. Now, I suppose, what do they do at the end of it? I cannot, and I'm not just saying this, MSISS graduates are absolutely in great demand. They're just locked up by the consultancy houses, like Price Waterhouse, Ernst & Young, and the other ones. Names have escaped me, we'll come to them again. And Accenture, obviously, of course. They have varied over time. Last few years, I think you could say management consultancy in the consultancy houses. Accountancy is a big one. A lot of them go on and do chartered accountancy. Actuary, they're kind of sometimes, I don't know if you know, in a year, everybody's like, oh, let's do actuary. It's kind of actuarial science. You've got to do lots of exams afterwards, very statistical. Financial services, banking, insurance, etc. I was reading the Sunday Times over the weekend, and I don't know if you saw the article on, it was in the business section, about a guy called Tom McAleese who restructured the banks within Europe, former MSISS student. And he's running around Europe trying to restructure banks. Now they mentioned he was 47. I was very disappointed. They said he attended Trinity, but they didn't give the name of the degree. A lot of information systems management, charge of big information systems in a company. A little bit of marketing, quality control, management services. We've had some people who developed their own business, maybe developing kind of, again, more in the information systems places. And we've had somebody who owned a restaurant. One of Patrick Guibault's sons, 2 of Patrick Guibault's sons did MSISS, and one of them started up his own restaurant afterwards. Fashion, religion, somebody went to be a preacher, somebody went to be a professional rugby player, don't know, for Ulster. Bar management, very popular Irish bar in Buenos Aires is run by a former MSISS student. So there is quite a variety of careers, and we've had a Rose of Tralee. about 2 years ago. Now, you might think Charmaine Kenny was a scholar and a first-class honours student and just entered, she told me, the Rose of Tralee for a joke, or somebody entered her for a joke, the competitions, and she ended up winning it. And she had a delightful year. So you never know what might happen afterwards. But in all seriousness, management consultancy is the line, and they're always looking for MSISS students. Accenture have opened up a big data analytics, business analytics office here in Dublin. They're looking for 100 people. And they're looking for people with skills like the skills you learn in MSISS. Google is another big company. See, here's some of them, the KPMG, Accenture, McKinsey company, all the managements, all the kind of consultancy company, Deloitte and Touche, there's a couple of students every year, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley. You might laugh about Paddy Power. There are quite a large number of MSISS students in Paddy Power. You know, looking at the odds, how the odds are set, etc. PricewaterhouseCoopers, another one of the big consultancy companies, Irish Life, Ernst & Young, IBM, and IBM have a big research place in Mulhuddard about smart cities, and they would employ a lot of students from MSISS, if they could find them sometimes, I think. They sponsor our final year project prize, which is a lot of money, 1,500. And the Irish Cancer Society, gentlemen who went in there, developed their computing systems, their webs, etc. So you can see, absolutely, people, and Google. Google isn't up there, and it should be. Am I too late? No. What our students say? I asked them, and I have taken this verbatim, okay, from what they said, our fourth year students. I'll go through it quite quickly. MSISS gives you the chance to experience many different areas of study. This is particularly good if you're unsure of what area you are interested in. MSISS classes are smaller, means you get to know everyone. I think they're all going off tomorrow, actually, on a trip to Belfast, if I'm right or not. Bye, Catherine. Next student. Thought I was being told to keep quiet and finish, but no. If you're interested in maths, IT, management, or statistics, give MSISS consideration. Gives an invaluable experience of applying newly acquired skills to a multitude of real-world problems. Excellent employment opportunities. Now, I didn't mention, and I meant to, that our students do go on to do further studies. I met one the other day who had a PhD in economics. Somebody else was finishing up a PhD in political science. So it's not just all training for management consultancies. I love to see students go on and do further degrees. So it's an education in the true sense of the word. I'll just finish with this one, actually. It's a good course because the classes are small and you form a community. There could be 25, 30. We're playing around with the quota, I have to say, just at the moment. Very interactive 4-year course where you get to learn a wide range of skills. You get a great grounding into business, computers, and statistics. You get to share modules with the business people. MEMS are engineering management people, engineering and statistics students. It's for someone who likes problem solving and improving business processes. I'm just going to go ahead because I'd like, I'll just leave that one out. It is very good. I'm going to just quickly, important information because this is important. Course code is T034. TR034. Minimum points last year, these look low. They're 385. But being a good statistician, okay, I decided to look at what the median is. There's 50% of people had more points than 470. So the average in the class is quite high. Intake quota is 40. That may change. We're playing with this figure at the moment. When this course started, there was only 15. And it's gone up a lot in the last while. You do need a C3 in honours maths. You don't need to have done business or accounting or economics, and you don't need to be a mathematical genius, but good numeracy is essential. You're going to be you're going to be doing 2 maths courses which follow on from your Leaving Cert maths course, and you're going to be doing lots of it in statistics, management science, a lot of mathematics. but you just a minimum of C3 in honours maths. And I presume everybody here is doing honours maths, are they? Yep, good. Now, so we like to call it combining the art of problem solving with the science of management. And that's just the last slide. Enjoy the open day and good luck. Now, anybody got any questions? I'm getting to I spend a lot of time in this room actually. Yeah.
Is there any opportunities to go abroad?
Not at the moment. Some people have gone abroad, but it's such a packed tight curriculum and it's hard to find another course. But it's not out of the question. It's probably, you'd have to work hard at it. We don't do it language as well. You do have you have the chance to do French, but it's not part of the course. Okay? But a couple of our students have gone abroad, but that's been a while ago. Yep?
What areas are touched on in the maths courses?
Sorry?
What areas are touched on in the maths courses?
The maths courses are more differentiation, integration, and differential equations. I'm not certain if that's basically it. If you're really interested, come and talk to me. I'll send you the first and second year maths papers. Yep.
Can I ask how are students assessed? Is it
Student-
exam, end of the year, or is it any continuous assessment?
It depends on the lecturer. Okay. It's a combination of everything. Okay. Say for the case studies, it's all project reports. For our IT first year course, it's a mixture of labs, end of year exams, and at the moment our exams are at the end of the year, and there is debate in Trinity at the moment about what we're going to do about that. Things are in flux, let's put it that way, but we use as much and every kind of assessment that we can think of nearly. Yeah?
Do many people fail the first year?
Now, let's put it this way. The results are not great, okay? But that's because you do have to work. It's a tough course. If you work at 10 lectures, you will pass them, okay? And we do have help facilities, and we try, if people do have problems, we have a system here in Trinity of tutors. And I mean personal tutors, they're not academic tutors. So we do try and encourage our students, if you're having problems with your maths course, well look, there's a maths help room there, go and ask questions. Yeah?
And what are the hours? Are they long?
They're about 24 hours a week lectures. And if you go onto the website, the timetable is up there, so you can have a look. If you think about it, you do about 6 subjects in first year, and a good rule of thumb is 3 hours per week per subject. Maybe you do 7, roughly. That's a good, but like that entails a lot of study outside. But there's good fun, in DUMIS, the Dublin University Management Science Society. They're organising a trip to Belfast, I'm told. I wasn't invited tomorrow. Any other questions? I'm around if anybody wants to grab me during the day. I'll be whooping around. Most of the lectures, now this is, I spend most of my time here. So a lot of the lectures take place down here. Yep, lovely. I love questions.
Is there many girls or boys?
If I tell you this, I'll be thrown out. If I tell you what happens, I'll be thrown out by the boys here. There's about half and half, actually. When the points go up, we tend to get more women. Let's put it that way. But it's about half and half. There's a good mix this year in first year. There's great fun in it, and people develop lifelong friendships. I think we've had a few marriages as well along the way.